Good morning, boys and girls. This is Nuke coming at you with another episode of Day Trading with Nuke. Sorry, don't want me to be rude. God, those things are amazing. All right, so today's watch list, I'm going to keep this nice and short. I'm going to be watching my normal stuff: Apple, Facebook, Baba, Netflix, NVDA, AMD, MU, and Square. But what I wanted to cover with you guys is going to be a very short list. I've got a couple of very interesting ones that piqued my interest. And the first of all, I'll tell you, is going to be AMD. And the reason AMD has piqued my interest, and even though I watch that all the time, is here we are, just not even 5:30 in the morning yet, my time, California Pacific Standard, and AMD has already had 685,000 shares traded before the start of the day, which is roughly double a good day for AMD this time of day. So we're going to take a look at that one. And then right up in here with BHP and VXX down here and Rio. So these kind of come out of the blue. I don't normally watch them. But the reason I'm mentioning it is BHP and VXX seem to be tied together financially. And, I'm not the greatest researcher, but this is just off the cuff looking at it. And then Rio here, the thing about Rio is it's also a mining company. So there's probably something going on with copper and coal, that kind of mining, because BHP is according to what I looked up, is the second largest mining company per revenue in the world. So I'm going to keep my eyes on that. Even though I don't know a damn thing about it, I find it interesting. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. We're going to keep this short and sweet. So we're just going to go through the immediate ones. All right, AMD. AMD had ramped up, fell off. Y'all know about all of that, right? But what are we looking at today? Well, Friday, AMD had a great green day, and it came up a bit. It came all the way up to 1854. In the after or pre-market hours here, that was a little bit higher than it was at the highest point on Friday by just like 4 or 5 cents. Now, the problem is, since the opening price, it has sold off pretty dramatically. Now, it did find a little bit of bottom, came back up, did not quite test the 200, and it's made its way down. So I would expect to see a little bit of a cover pop right out of the gates this morning, but I think this thing's going to come on down a little more. So where are we looking at this to come down to? So in my looking at it, I am looking at around on the high side, 1927, where the 100% extension of the high side is, and follow along on the right hand side of the chart. We'll just do them all at once. And then the pre-market high, which it could test back up to, is 1854, somewhere in that area. And you're finding really good resistance here and a little bit of overhead there. So you see how that kind of correlates. Okay, on the pre-market low side, that corresponds really well with Friday's low. And then if we take the 100% extension to the downside, you see how neatly that fits almost to the low from a couple of weeks ago. So I'm definitely going to keep my eyes on that spot. And then if we went all the way to the 200% extension, that's a really good fit for the start of last week. So I'm going to keep my eyes on this. That's what I am looking at. All right, let's go to Microsoft, which has had quite a bit, and look at that drop. It's very similar to AMD. We'll cover the 100 percentiles and not a whole lot more. So here's your 100% to the upside, $105.11. But the pre-market high is sitting at 102.06, maybe a little more than that, 102.50-ish. You could see this thing test up to. And if it can't hold that, then we're looking at it breaking down to a pre-market low of around 98.89. And then, you're starting to hit that resistance area here. And then if we scoot on down to the 100% mark, we've got really good support across here. So I expect to see good, solid resistance at this 100% line. I'm not aiming to see Microsoft tank much below that. And in truth, the $100 area is critical. So I'm not banking on shorting or longing. I'm almost more inclined to say this one might stall out somewhere. But, you know, just because of that 100, it's hanging right there at the 200. Then again, this might be the day that she cracks and, you know, takes a good drop down. I don't see the spike up. I'm more leaning towards coming down and testing the support level down here. But we'll have to see. Okay, let's take a quick look at the BHP. And you can see on the daily chart, this thing's just a chop fest, right? But if you kind of see through the matrix of what's going on here, and just squint your eyes and just look for the arrowhead, look for the wedge, right? And yeah, we're a little bit above it, and yeah, we're a little bit below it, but she comes back to the middle quite often, right? And we had those, you know, they looked red there, right? Even though on the daily it looked like it, or the 5 minute, 1 minute chart, or 5 day, 1 minute, it looked like it was coming up. Well, overnight, this thing sold off from 48 down to 46. It's a $2 drop with an average true range of only $1.35. So that's pretty huge for this one, all things considered. The way I'm looking at this thing, I think it's going to try and come back into its own range. And what that puts us, let's say it goes up to the high side. We're looking at maybe 50.23. I just don't see a jump that big. And if it comes down to the low side, even just, well, hell, I can't even get to it. Get rid of that. That's why. All right. So your pre-market low is at that 46.48, and the 100% extension right now is at the 44.40. I don't see it going much lower than that, but I think that's realistic to kind of keep our eyes on, right? Now let's take a look at VXX first. VXX. Sorry, I'm checking my notes over here. And VXX is I think that's the financial holding, or it's the banking company with them. And they had a hell of a spike last week, and then they've sold off pretty good at the end of it, right? Let's see if this shows it. No, not quite far enough. But anywho, it's gapped up over the morning. So why is the mining company doing poor and gapping down, but the financial holding company, the banking portion of it, is doing well? So I'm not sure if this is going to work in inverse. I've never looked at these tickers before. You can see where there was a market maker correction or an algorithm spike here. So definitely something I want to pay attention to. We look at the pre-market high, we're sitting at 49.50, pre-market low of 46. So it's a little bit bigger range than the other company. 100% extension on the high side at 52.51, and 100% low extension at the 43.72 rather, right? So just keep your eyes on that for today. Last but not least, did we go over Microsoft? I think we did. Let me see. You know what? Even if we did, God, I'm just going to do it for you twice. Yeah, we did cover it. God, I'm sorry, guys. Brain's fried. I think too much on this stuff. But it's going to be an exciting day. Keep your eyes on the normal stuff. Apple has more shares sold so far this morning than the other big ones. You know, Facebook, Baba, Netflix, NVDA, they're trailing behind a little bit. Apple's nearly double that. So that's what I like to keep my eyes on whenever one of them kind of gets out of the box and goes a significant bit further than the others. So I like to keep my eyes on those in particular. That's what I got. I got it for you in under 10 minutes. I hope you guys like the shorter, more pinpoint format. And as always, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave me some comments. Let me know what I'm doing right. Let me know what you'd like to see me doing better. And it's a new year, 2019. We're kicking this thing off great. I'm going to start dropping content that is outside of the market watch list and the post-market recap into my YouTube channel. So I've got a few things to start kicking it off with, some how to set up Thinkorswim, charting, how to enter and exit trades. So stand by, keep tuning in, look for that, and I'll see y'all this afternoon with the market wrap up.